Hello and welcome to today's webinar on the Sustainable Agriculture and Rural Development Programmes at University College Dublin. There are certificate, diploma and master's options available, as well as full and part-time options. So there is lots of choice within this particular programme. My name is Damien Dempsey. I'm joined today by the Programme Director, Dr. Porrick Wims, who has agreed to provide an overview of the programme, addressing many of the frequently asked questions that we receive. And later, we will also hear from a selection of graduates on the programme. Donal Hayden, Nampelo Magabi, and Jenny Collier. If you have questions, we would encourage you to submit them in the chat box, and we will endeavour to respond to them during or following the session. Welcome, Porrick, and perhaps you might begin by providing us with some information that you've prepared in your slides.
Thanks very much, Damien, and hello everybody, and you're very welcome to this webinar on the taught master's programs in sustainable ag and rural development. So I think it might be useful to give an outline of what I propose to cover. I'll give an overview of the sustainable ag and rural development, or the SARD programs at UCD, what you would study, what modules are available, are you eligible, and what kind of careers do our graduates embark on and how do they do afterwards. I think it might be useful to start by asking ourselves, why would somebody be interested in studying sustainable agriculture and rural development in the first place? And there are a number of reasons why you would want to do that. We all know that the world population is continuing to grow. It's estimated that now we have 7.8 billion people on the planet, but that by the year 2050, in 30 years' time, that will be up to about 10 billion. So all of these people will need a secure food supply. They'll need safe, ethically produced food. They want to live in a healthy environment. They'll need sustainable and affordable energy. So where are all those going to come from? Agriculture. And another reason why we're interested in sustainable agriculture and rural development, policymakers, politicians have a keen interest in sustainable rural communities. Here in Ireland, we've seen in the last few years that for the first time we have a new government ministry, a Department of Rural and Community Development. This is evidence of the policymakers' interest in sustainable rural communities. So these issues then are relevant not just in Ireland, the EU, other industrialised countries, but right across the developing world as well. And while the problems and difficulties might be very different throughout the world, in many cases the approaches and the strategies that are used to investigate these problems and to bring about development is the same. It's the same principles, regardless of whether you're working in development in Ireland or in the developing world. So looking then at the SARD programs in UCD, one of them, there are three separate programs, and each is a subset of the other. So top of the list is the master's program, and that consists of a total of 90 credits. There are 60 credits of taught modules and 30 credits of a thesis. The graduate diploma is a subset of the master's program, and that consists of the same 30 credits of taught modules that you would embark on in the master's program. And if you weren't able to commit to a master's degree or to a graduate diploma, perhaps a graduate certificate would be of interest, and that's 30 credits of taught modules, which would be from the suite of modules on the diploma or the master's program. So what's the duration of the program? Well, if you're completing the master's program, that's 60 credits of taught modules, followed by a 30 credit thesis. If you're embarking on it full-time, you would be able to complete that in 12 months, 1 calendar year. In other words, the 2 academic trimesters of coursework and the 3 months of the research thesis. For the if you're embarking on doing the master's program on a part-time basis, the coursework can be spread out over 2 years part-time, but it's the same modules that you would take. For the graduate diploma, similarly, that can be taken on a full-time basis over 2 trimesters, one academic year, or it can be spread out over 2 years on a part-time basis. And for the graduate certificate, that's completed on a part-time basis over 2 trimesters on campus. What modules do we offer? And before naming the modules, I think it's important to emphasize that our aim is to equip our graduates with 2 core type of competencies that they will develop. And one is that you will have the skills to work in development. In other words, that you would have the analytical, the conceptual, the communication, and the research skills to work as a development worker. And secondly, that you would have the core, the knowledge surrounding the discipline that you are studying, the knowledge required to develop careers in sustainable agriculture and rural development. So those 2 areas are achieved by a combination of core modules and optional modules. So the core modules are as follows: the sustainable agriculture, policies and strategies for sustainable ag and rural development, strategic communications, research methods, and the theory and practice of rural enterprise. So all of those fulfill the skills and the knowledge base that you would acquire. But in addition to those core modules that everybody will take, there are some optional modules that you choose, and you have free choice to select these either from within the Sustainable Ag and Rural Development Programme, or indeed, if you're interested, from other schools or colleges within UCD. And some examples of the modules within our own school: planning for development, agricultural extension and innovation, economics and sociology in rural development, organic agriculture, and there can be many more. And we would encourage students to go and find, if they have a particular interest, to find out what modules are available within the university and see are they able to take those. Now, in addition to those core and optional modules, for the master's thesis, for the master's students, you will complete a thesis. Now that's completed in the summer trimester. And here you have an opportunity to undertake research in an area that reflects your own specific interests. So while most of the modules are taken with other people, the one thing that distinguishes you from everybody else in your class is that what you will do your thesis on. That will be unique to you. And you will work closely with the supervisor throughout the second trimester, developing a research proposal, so that as soon as the summer trimester starts, you're ready to hit the ground running and embark on your field work. The topics can encompass a very broad range of subject areas. You choose and investigate something that is of interest to you. For instance, in the last year, 2 students who are working with me, one student from South Africa was interested in macadamia nuts and investigating and surveying farmers who are growing macadamia nuts back home in South Africa. And that he has graduated now, and he has embarked on developing his own macadamia plantation there as a result of the findings from his thesis. Another student from India was looking at how organic fruit and vegetable growers in India were selling their products and able to make for a higher profit by using a web-based platform in order to streamline their marketing operations. So you can see that the range of theses can vary enormously, but they are usually based on primary data collection, on field research and analysis, rather than just literature based. So, and for the students from overseas countries, we encourage them to return home and to do a piece of research that is of interest and value to their own country. So what's unique about the SARD programs at UCD? And I think there's one word that encompasses the characteristic of our programs, and that is diversity. Our program has been in operation for over 30 years now, from the late 1980s. And the one feature of it is while no 2 classes are identical, all of them have been characterized by having diverse student groups. And by diverse, I mean They will be coming from very different academic backgrounds, some from agriculture, from social sciences, from geography, from business background, sciences. Also from different cultural backgrounds. We have students from Ireland, from Africa, from overseas, from developing countries, you name it. We've had students from there probably at this stage. And we have students from different levels of professional experience. There would be a good blend, a mixture. Some students who enter into the program directly after completing their primary degrees, while others would have many years of professional work experience. And needless to say, with such a diverse student group, it makes for really interesting class discussions. So lots of different backgrounds, lots of different viewpoints who in these class discussions, and we certainly enjoy that. Are you eligible to embark on this program? Well, the criteria to apply, you need a level 8 degree, and we look for a minimum of a second class honours grade 2. And that can be in any range of academic subjects. It doesn't have to be in agricultural science. It can be in any of the life sciences, social sciences, sociology, humanities, arts, business. Lots of academic backgrounds are relevant for a career in rural development. Secondly, if English is not your first language, then you must demonstrate proficiency in the English language. And the university requirements are an IELTS averaging 6.5. And the third criteria, the third eligibility criteria, an interest in sustainable agriculture and rural development. We obviously, that is a requirement. So what kind of careers? Well, with 30 years of graduates out there, it's not surprising that our SARD graduates are found in professional employment in agricultural development and in rural development right around the world. Generally, for young graduates in Ireland, the entry point into the career is, if they're interested in, and their background is agricultural science, it might be in advisory work in Teagasc or in with agricultural consultants, or if their interest is in the broader rural development, then many of them would be employed as development workers or project officers or community development workers. There are many terms for similar kind of work, working with the partnership companies or with county councils or indeed with government departments. Some of them, and you'll be meeting one of them later, some of them embark on self-employment and set up their own enterprises, and the skills that they acquire in the course help them to do that. In many of our overseas graduates will have been working in civil servants, say with their government departments, and are on leave of absence when they come here and are contracted to return to those positions when they finish the master's degree. And invariably we have noticed that they climb the career ladder very quickly when they return to their old positions with their degrees, with master's degrees from UCD. And they would be mainly working either with the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministries of Planning, Ministries of Development in their own countries. And many Irish students who are interested in working with NGOs or international non-government organisations in development positions are embark on careers with those INGOs internationally when they finish the master's programme. So I hope that has been of interest to you, and the website, if you want more information and if you want to apply, is here. It's UCD. And alternatively, if you feel that I'm able to give you any additional information, if you have specific inquiries, you're very welcome to email me at any time. My email address is p.wims@ucd.
Thank you, Pádraig. You mentioned that the programme is characterised by the diversity of students who undertake the program and also the career opportunities that are available to graduates of the program. So let's hear now from a selection of our graduates.
The Masters in Sustainable Agriculture and Rural Development significantly contributed to my understanding of the LEADER Rural Development Programme rolled out by the EU. It helped me understand the policy influence and the background to the importance of these monetary supports for small communities, villages and rural counties. On the course, in the module Rural Enterprises, we undertook a field trip that went down to the Offaly Local Development Company, who are also rolling out the LEADER programme across County. Meeting the people who directly benefited from these projects and the LEADER programme greatly increased my interest in rural development. One of the greatest benefits of the Masters in Sustainable Agriculture and Rural Development is the large draw of international students that they get, and also the various different backgrounds of the other students that you meet. We had a great variety of people from all backgrounds, ages and different countries that brought a huge wealth of experience and great discussion in the class. My undergraduate degree was a Bachelor's of Arts in Social and Political Science and Geography. This contributed massively into my interest of politics. I really enjoyed the classes in UCD as there's a very friendly atmosphere between the lecturers and the students. What I really enjoyed about our classes in the Masters was the debates that we would have with our lecturers. They would also, in those debates, then open up about their experience and their backgrounds and the research that they've done or are working on, which was really, really interesting and shows their passion and their loyalty towards the aim of sustainable agriculture. My thesis topic was on food security in Ireland and how the model of community-supported agriculture can contribute to achieving food security. If it wasn't for this course, I wouldn't have had the confidence to go and interview these farmers about this topic. I'm currently working as a projects officer in Laois Partnership Company, and we are in charge of rolling out the EU LEADER Rural Development Programme across County Laois.
Hello, my name is Donal Hayden. I am a General Manager at Minmore Mews Farm Cottages, and I graduated from the Masters Programme in Sustainable Agriculture and Rural Development in 2019. I'd like to think that the best skills I learned from the course would be, I suppose, the education and the words such as the principles of sustainability, sustainable agriculture, social capital, what these words actually mean and how you can put them into your everyday running of a business or into your everyday life. From the knowledge I learned from the lectures, I suppose, I can now, it's gave me the confidence to look at the business from a holistic point of view and to explore options and explore diversification. So originally this was a farm. My uncle was a sheep farmer and the buildings were derelict, and then about 20 years ago he started doing up the buildings as another source of income, and now that they have become our main source of income and the farm is rented out. So it's a good example of diversification in agriculture. I wanted to move home, and we have a background of agriculture in our family, so I wanted to explore sustainable agriculture and rural development, so the program was actually perfect for it. I was originally accepted on a basis that I would just do the graduate degree and see how I got on, because I hadn't even written an academic paper in my life. So they took me in, and through the process of learning and excellent teaching, I was able to quickly learn how to write essays, how to research essays, how to articulate thoughts, and I never looked back really, because I did well in all my classes, I like to think, and they said they would happily take me on for the second year to do the full masters. So I did it part-time while I was working here. During my time on the program, I learned so much, actually had such a great time. The classmates, there was a lot of international students from around the world, so I have friends in China, Africa and further afield. and we're still great friends today, and it was a great hub to bounce ideas off and see what other people were doing and what was happening in their country and what were the problems associated there as opposed to here and my background. So I mean, it was just a great place to go. It was just a great hub of knowledge and friendship and sharing, and it was a great campus. I mean, I used the gym every time I went up there, in the swimming pool, and so I went 2 days a week, so it was actually felt to me like 2 days off. I was going up to, you know, meet my friends, listen to cool lectures and learn something. I would highly recommend it. I basically went from somebody who had never written an academic essay to receiving top marks in my thesis. I'd put it down as one of the best experiences and best decisions I ever made was to take this course. And hope you enjoy it.
Everyone, my name is Nompilo Mgapi. I'm from Johannesburg, South Africa. I graduated with a Master's in Sustainable Agriculture and Rural Development from the University College Dublin, UCD, in 2018. Prior to embarking on my journey, I was a junior manager from one of the biggest banks in Africa called Standard Bank. I was working under their agricultural finance. Prior to that, I was an undergrad student majoring in agriculture and economics and food sciences. I was so fascinated by how the program at UCD was delivered. The class was full of international students from Europe, South Asia, China, India, South America, and other African countries as well, such as Malawi and Nigeria. I also liked the delivery of the program and the lectures of how it was so impactful. So it was not only just theory-based in class, it was actually also practical. So when you talk about sustainable agriculture and rural development, it was just all big topics, you know, and you needed to get a feel and understand about what it means, not just only in assignments, in reading and listening to lectures, but also it gave us an opportunity to go to organizations and businesses that implemented those policies, where we can get a feel of what actually it means. Just to give prospective students who want to embark on this program, and just thinking of the things that I know now and I wish I knew then, you know, first of all, don't take research for granted. Research on the program, you know, and understand where you fit currently and where you would fit going forward. So for me, as I said, like I exactly knew, but not in details of actually in subject matters of communication, sustainable agriculture, if it's the field that I want to have. And secondly, set your goal. Understand why you're doing this. For me, afterwards, I didn't want to go back to banking. I wanted a job, and I wanted to understand what will this program, what will be the returns of it, and what type of work can I get myself involved in. The second one is just be intentional, know your goals, know why you're doing this program, and where would you fit in. It shouldn't be just a tick off, but it should actually be something where you get to implement. And the next thing is just be open, hey? Be open to making new friends, be open being uncomfortable, be open to discomfort, emotionally, socially, intellectually. Be open about that, you know, because that's where growth is. So be open about the discomfort, and don't shy away from asking questions. Don't be shy away from making friends. And the nice thing about being in the Department of Sustainable Agriculture and Rural Development was the lectures. The lectures were so friendly. They were more open, and they understood that, you know, we're international student and the reasons why we're here, and they were more like family as well.
Porrick, we've responded to a lot of questions already during your presentation, but perhaps we could take 2 or 3 additional questions now that are appearing here in the chat box. The first question relates to the application deadline, and I wonder if you might just comment in relation to the application process and timelines.
If anybody is interested, if they're interested in applying for the course at this stage, we would urge them to apply as soon as possible, because We have been processing applications since last autumn for the coming year. And as applications come in, we've been offering places. So as soon as the course is full, we will have to stop accepting applications and defer them till next year. So even if you are completing your degree this year and you can still apply before you get your final results, and we will make you a provisional offer conditional on you getting a minimum of a 2 degree honours result. So we would urge you, if you're interested, get your application in as soon as you can.
Thank you, Pádraig. Another question that's appearing in the chat box here, which maybe I can respond to, relates to COVID-19 actually, and the likely impact on the delivery of the programme. So University President Deeks, has issued a statement that UCD are committed to offering the best campus-based experience possible for the next academic year. And that's, of course, while also following the most up-to-date public health guidelines at all times. The most up-to-date information available will be on the UCD website, on the homepage, on the frequently asked questions section of the site, but we will also be communicated in relation to each programme with applicants and offer holders closer to the time. But I do think a blended learning model is particularly likely for the forthcoming academic year. Another question, Pádraig, that's in the chat box relates to a student who is wondering, will they share modules on this programme with students and any other master's programmes at UCD or indeed within the school?
Thanks, Damien. We have a mixture of some modules that have been designed and are available only to those on the Sustainable Ag-Rural Development Programme, and some others that are available to other students on other master's programs. For instance, the strategic communications module that I coordinate myself, that is a core module for sustainable ag and rural development, but it's also lots of other students take that module, and in fact it makes for a variety of experiences and interesting discussions. And the quid pro quo is that for some of the students on the Sustainable Ag and Rural Development Programme are able to take optional modules from other master's programs. So it works both ways, and leads to a good variety and mixture in classes.
Thank you, Pádraig. I'd like to complete the webinar now. I'd just like to, first of all, thank everyone for joining today's webinar. To particularly thank Dr. Wims for giving up time to provide an overview of the Sustainable Agriculture and Rural Development programs, and to each of our graduates who have given us a sense of the types of opportunities that are available to graduates on this program. You can also find out more about the program at ucd.ie/agfood, and we will also share this recording with you over the coming days. Thank you.